Hello everyone, it's Leticia Collins, Servant. I got a message on one of my videos again stating that they use my videos on something, another channel called like Stupid Things People Say. And I think that's actually really encouraging because they need to rationalize that there is nothing that I state that cannot be tracked and traced. And I've sought help through so many different agencies and faculties in that way, different facilities that reject my attempts to rationalize this entire circumstance. The fact that I was placed on it by my ex-husband and he left me with 2 loaded guns and, backhandedly falsified documents, my signatures on documents in order to get his way, and I wasn't even truly informed of the divorce hearing and never showed up for it. So if people aren't rationalizing where I'm stemming from, there's also, all these numerous profiles saying something about me being a narcissist and I am. I've had years of therapy since I was 12 years old with my first suicide attempt. And rationalizing that, my behaviors and the way that I interacted with others was not the issue. It was the issue of them assaulting me and abusing me, but then capturing those moments for other people to witness. I was told when I was being raised, and I went to those private schools, that my words mattered, that I mattered as an individual. And then when I did the research on the world around me and I grew up and I rationalized that it was a very misogynistic society still in the United States, and they're only making progressive changes in order to allow us the equality that we all deserve as human beings. That's discouraging because I was taught, I was born in 1987, so after living through the 90s and rationalizing, a lot of these commercialized figures, these actors and actresses that they place on TV and media, and even the politicians that are just in place in order to engage us for manipulative reasons, and it's all dependent on the individual. Some people told me that I could be a politician, that I could definitely, I have the ability to speak very articulately, and in me, I just feel like I had to research all of these words. I had to research my story. I had to rationalize after I had lost everything, after I had progressed. I was just trying to go to school. I was trying, all these different attempts, but I was not healed within, and I was what I needed, which was a healthy vessel. And I needed to realize and rationalize through my habits that I was doing myself a disservice, disservice in that way, that I will function properly. Everybody's body is a machine. We need to place in, all utilizing the atomic molecules that we're made out of, those, molecular structures that create our form. And I went through science, I went through physical anatomy, and in high school, so I know about these concepts. I understand about different areas of the body. I understand about differences in digestion. So when I didn't rationalize years ago, because I was very childish, I wasn't necessarily woke, I started waking up slowly and rationalizing that the Food and Drug Administration places these regulations because they want to guide the general masses, the general populace, and they want to sway them into believing things that aren't necessarily healthy, but are money, good for their monetary gain. So when they placed these things out there, they didn't rationalize and do the research behind all the years that we were drinking. Animals ended up getting cancers. So we didn't understand what cancers were until the last, 100 years or so. rationalizing, oh my God, where are these tumors coming from? Where I ending up with all these health ailments because of these things. So I had to rationalize where I'd grown up, you know, and my parents did a decent job raising me as a human being. I really don't care if he lives his life out here somewhere where it's less stressful for him, but people need to rationalize. I need compensation too. I know that I automatically, because of my pheromones, because of what my mammary glands secrete, that I'm automatically a target to men. You know, I'm very feminine in that way, although we're harboring resentments toward, oh, you've got a card from, you know, your card's from Arkansas, your driver's license from here, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, are we rationalizing that we're united, or are we rationalizing that we're still at odds? And it is around before the South will rise. Not destroying yourselves by believing that your voices have mattered. In actuality, you look very incompetent to not rationalize that you're just a puppet. You're just people so into politics because they have nothing better to do, and they've got a very primitive mindset, and they need something to rationalize because they've never sustained abuse like me. That's what I said, you know, about disclosing. The reason why I make these videos is just to engage with my children and to expose the knowledge that I've incurred throughout the years, and that there are times that I make mistakes verbally here and there because I haven't been in school for a while. I would love to go back to college. I would love to have a safe place to stay. I would love to be able to engage with the world around me. But at the same time, I don't have that financial backing that all these rich kids have had. I haven't had. What? Like, do you even realize that $50,000 would go so far for an individual like me? Like, and it's like, you don't even rationalize. So I'm not even that bougie. Like, but I'm sure that there's just plenty of people that don't understand and can't engage with my material because of the words that I use. And it's just it's part of my vocabulary. It's the way that I speak. I enjoy researching new words. I enjoy finding different ways to express myself, you know, artistically, as well as, you know, just sort of, aside from, you know, lack of a better word, intellectually. I don't want to be thought of as somebody that is not trying. I'm definitely trying. I'm just sitting and wallowing in a lot of trauma, and I don't have the resources right now to comfort myself in order to progress. And then they came out with a lot of research for CBD and natural remedies and holistic, you know, medicine, and rationalized that those natural substances work a lot better than the artificial. Oh my God, just nothing I can state that can prove my side. So this is that child to develop, you know, poorly, and I'm trying so hard to not toxify this baby, yet I have to smoke medicinal marijuana. I have to at this point, because I would slit my wrists if I did not. And I'm not a danger to my child. I've never been a danger to my children. And psychologists know, no, she's not actually that crazy to the point where she would murder anyone yet. But it's getting to that point because I'm not getting the resources that I need to scrambling for words at times, because I'm a little bit heightened in that state of like, oh God, I'm reliving the trauma, you know. And now I have to rationalize that through cognitive behavioral therapy that I had to face those fears, face those uncertainties, and also, you know, face the fact that these things have happened and there's nothing I can do to fix it. There's nothing I can do to legally fix it either, because I don't have any money to take these people to civil court. And I didn't research enough of it. I've heard it before. That's why I knew that these different instances, people had presumed that I was not speaking, you know, rationally. But like, and then like I was saying about those buff guys that, you know, they just try to show off and their muscles, I get kind of like, whoa, like, that's kind of crazy. I don't know if it's like sexy. Like, I mean, I do know that it's like, it draws me in because I'm like, whoa, that's really masculine. I don't have arms like that. I don't have, you know, you're very fit, and I, you know, I applaud you for all the work that you put in that. But when you see my face, I'm like, whoa, like it looks like I'm in love, you know, but really in actuality, I'm just taken aback. I'm attracted to that, you know, I'm not necessarily attracted to large muscles or anything like that, but where, you know, and I tell people this all the time, I believe that there are cameras hidden in places that we don't know. So the fact that some people don't rationalize that, I think that that's actually pretty funny, because I mean, and I do owe my sister, I think, $400 still. I feel terrible, but it wasn't my fault. My ex-husband put me in that circumstances where I couldn't financially support myself, and nobody was rationalizing it from my perspective, because all they heard was me bitching. All they heard were cuss words, because I didn't have it. I was literally on so many psychiatric medications that I couldn't speak adequately. I couldn't speak articulately. I was so dumbed down like a fucking monster, a cow. Versus a cow. Like, I lost 150 pounds. You're gonna tell me shit about being a cow? Believe me, I know what it's like to be a cow. And removed the commentary from all my videos, but I missed one, because apparently one just popped up as a notification. They're not hotels. Gyms are not hotels. Yet they are for people with van life. So you need to just keep your mouth shut. You're going through something mentally, and keep your thoughts to yourself. People told me that years ago. I didn't want to rationalize it. Then find, what are words? Fuck you. People are so funny, and like when you say the right racist comments and things like that or whatnot, and one lady used the word nigger around me, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, and I was like, yeah, it's just part of our vocabulary now, as long as I'm not going to use the word to go around demeaning someone. But one of the ladies was a stalker. I called her a nigger. I felt bad for doing it. It made me cry, because I was like, I pinpoint that one thing that will eat away at someone for the rest of their days, and I shove it back in their face. Breeding in cages and all that, not good, not good. You know, there's plenty of, you know, pets in the world. I get that. But it was a beautiful experience for me growing up and rationalizing the wholesomeness for locking up decent human beings that could have been valuable to your money mongering systems. It's no skin off my nose. It's the same. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Just like I'm not gonna go to fucking jail for a falsified rape report. Get your shit together, people. No thank you. No thank you. And I said, if you don't get it together, I'm gonna kill my fucking self. And then what? Then you're gonna have a fucking reason as to why I killed myself, because all these things keep compiling in a negative way for me, and you're not doing any justice to the fucking actual situations or the circumstances, and it leaves me with nothing and no hope. And that's why suicide attempts are so prevalent, or suicide, you know, not even attempts, suicides in themselves are so prevalent in this day and age, because no one cares. The systems we found out are super flawed and corrupt. And that's why we're trying to push people out of these positions that don't deserve to be in these positions. If I were a judge, I would sit there and I'd be like, okay, let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's go along with this. But if you're going to keep fucking up, then you need to go, you know, send them to an actual health facility for their mental health, or, you know, mental health. And also, you know, tell them you need to start working out. And of course, my avoidant behaviors are protective measures for my emotional stability, and people need to rationalize that. I'm not necessarily antisocial. I love to socialize, but I don't like crowds of people, because they're usually very busy, and they're usually, you know, a lot of people interacting that are just out for themselves in their heart. And the more that I encounter true mental distortions and true mental instability, I rationalize. I'm very blessed that, you know, technically I do have disorders. Technically I am disabled, but there are people that are worse off that don't get the resources and financial backing that I get from that, and I'm humbled by that. I'm very grateful, tearful about it at times because I rationalize, I cry to myself all the time in knowing that I've been truly blessed in certain ways and I'm a decent person. I admit it, like I'm not that bad. I say some shit, but if it boils down to it, I usually am very helpful to people, and I'm usually the first one to offer assistance when I can.